한 나라를 대표하는 대단한 분들을 모셨는데요. 자기소개를 부탁드려도 될까요?
Okay, so my name is Kevin O'Gorman. I'm the Master Distiller at Midland Distillery, and it's wonderful to be here today. Thank you very much.
My name's Billy Lighton. I'm the Master Blender at Middleton Distillery. Work alongside Kevin.
두 분은 그럼 한국에는 처음 오신 건가요?
Yes, this is my first time, and it's wonderful. So yeah, we arrived on Sunday night after a long journey from Ireland, but it's really good.
Yeah, first time for me also in Korea. Enjoyed it very much so far.
두 분께 질문 드리고 싶은 게 있는데 많은 분들이 헷갈려 하시는 거예요. 뭐 어떻게 발음하든 지칭하는 건 똑같기 때문에 상관없지만 제임슨인지 제머슨인지 자메손인지 발음을 두 분은 어떻게 하시나요?
For me, it comes very naturally as Jameson.
For me, yeah, it's Jameson. I just said Jameson. Absolutely, yeah.
Not Jameson?
Yeah, but I think there's no wrong way of pronouncing it.
As long as whoever you're placing the order with understands what you want. Yeah, that's the main thing.
두 분이 술을 마신 건 언제 처음이었고 어떤 술을 드셨는지 궁금합니다.
I suppose my first involvement with whiskey was when I left college and I was working for a cream liqueur company, and we were involved in blending whiskey and cream to form a cream liqueur, and that was my first experience on whiskey and tasting whiskey and nosing whiskey, and it was from that point that I really got an appreciation for whiskey, and that was my starting point many years ago.
My first experience was with whiskey, and it was whenever I joined Irish Distillers, and that's quite a number of years ago.
그게 합법적으로 술을 마실 수 있는 나이였던 거죠?
Oh yes, you are, yes, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, whenever I joined Irish Distillers, I was 20 years old, and after that, then I became involved with whiskey tasting on the sensory side of whiskey assessment.
두 분 다 후각이 중요한 직업이신데요. 자신의 후각이 다른 사람들보다 뛰어났다고 느끼시나요?
And for me, I would kind of argue a little bit with your question about having an extra special sense of smell, because I think most people have some capacity, but it's a matter of experience and time to develop that.
그러면 선천적인 후각하고 훈련되는 후각하고 어떤 게 더 중요하다고 보시나요?
I think both. I think some people have a natural ability for nosing and tasting, but what's really important is training, practice, and practice, and practice. So I'm sort of nosing and assessing whiskies with 33 years. So over that time you build up a lot of practice, and I suppose there's a lot of engaging with other people as well, with Billy, and we learn off each other because every day is a learning day. You learn something every day, but I think it's a bit of both. I think it's practice, but you have some innate ability as well, I would think.
Absolutely agree with Kevin, but one of the things that practice brings is confidence to describe the aromas that you're smelling, and I think it's that confidence that makes you a good sensory expert.
요즘 한국에 위스키 붐이 불면서 위스키 즐기시는 분들이 많아졌는데 아직 아일리시 위스키는 제머슨 정도밖에 볼 수가 없어요. 이제 레드브레스트가 수입되긴 했는데 그래서 많은 분들이 아직 스카치 위스키를 많이 드시거든요. 그분들께 아일리시 위스키는 어떤 점이 더 좋다? 어떻게 생각하시나요?
Good question. We will be biased, of course, but Irish whiskey is some of the best whiskey in the world. So that's coming from Ireland. Redbreast, for example, is a great starting point for those people that want to enjoy whiskey, let alone Irish whiskey.
Yeah, I think Irish whiskey, I suppose we have an incredible heritage going back hundreds of years. So if you look at Jameson, for example, it goes back to 1780 in Dublin. Middleton Distillery itself goes back to 1825. So there's a huge history and tradition of producing great whiskey in Ireland, and I suppose that's something that we're very proud of. And of course, the craft that was developed over the centuries is handed down to distiller and from blender to blender, and that tradition is handed down. So I suppose we were all brought up with that craft and that appreciation of the quality of whiskey. So what I would say is, yeah, we have so much craft, we have so much tradition, and I suppose everybody at Middleton, we're so, motivated by producing such a great whiskey. as Redbreast, for example, or Middleton Very Rare. And we just love doing it. That's our job. We love it. So yeah, so it's quality, it's tradition. We also have fantastic ingredients because Ireland, I know we get a lot of rain, but we grow the greatest barley and malted barley in the world. So we've great conditions for growing great cereals. And I suppose that's really important as well. Plus a wonderful water supply alongside the distillery. So we've a lot going for us.
The Irish whiskey category is the fastest growing category currently, so it speaks for itself.
IDL에는 되게 많은 위스키 제품이 나오고 있는데요. 아이리시 위스키를 처음 드시는 분한테 어떤 위스키를 추천드리고 싶으신가요?
We have already intimated that Redbreast is a good starting point, especially for single pot still Irish whiskey. And we just launched it here in Korea just last year, Redbreast 12-year-old, and it's proved to be very nicely accepted
Yes.
here. So from a single pot still, Redbreast.
I think for me, I suppose Jameson, and I think it's it's a wonderful drink. It's a blend of grain whiskey and pot whiskey. It's very mellow, very smooth. It's a very versatile whiskey as well. You can drink it neat, or with ice, or with water, or in fact with a cocktail. And I suppose we should also mention Jameson Black Barrel, which is again a very, very special whiskey. Again, has a really, I suppose, intense, sweet caramel, butterscotch notes. It's a fabulous whiskey again to try, and maybe neat or with a drop of water. It's super. That's what I recommend.
아이리시 위스키의 가장 특징이 싱글팟 스틸 위스키죠. 아이들에서는 유명한 게 레드브레스트랑 스팟 위스키, 이 두 개는 어떤 점이 다른 건가요? 생산 공정도 다른 건가요?
What we do in Middleton is we produce a number of different styles of whiskey or distillates. We produce 3 styles: single pot still, grain whiskey, and we also produce some malt whiskey. Within the pot whiskey element, we produce different styles of pot whiskey, from a lighter style to a medium style to a heavy traditional style. And also within grain whiskey, we can produce different styles of grain whiskey. And all those whiskies then are filled into different barrels. American barrels, Oloroso Sherry, Madeira, Marsala, French cask, wine cask, huge range of casks. So this then allows a huge amount of permutations for the blending team, Billy and his team, to put together these whiskies.
Well, what we're saying is each brand family has its own particular style. So as Kevin has explained, the Spot range features one single type of pot still distillate along with a particular style of fortified wine cask to give it its individual character. So in Redbreast, you're going to get the fruity flavors that come through with the seasoning of the Oloroso casks. Then if you go to the Middleton family, for example, we can use different styles of the pot still distillate, but we don't use any wine casks in Middleton. So each brand family has its own particular style.
늦었지만 마스터 디슬러가 되신 걸 축하드리고요.
Thank you. Thank you.
3년 지났죠?
3 years ago. Correct. Yes, that's right.
그 전에는 마스터 매추레이션이라는 일을 하셨다고 들었는데 사람들이 마스터 디슬러, 마스터 블렌드는 들어봤어도 마스터 매추레이션은 생소한 분이 많으실 거예요. 그 역할은 어떤 일을 하시는 건가요?
Maturation plays a significant role in the whole, when you're crafting a whiskey. There's a lot of debate about what percentage contribution maturation makes, but suffice to say it has a significant impact because of the wood and the oak contribution to a whiskey. So maturation is really, really important. So in Irish distillers, 30, 40 years ago, the people that worked before me, they identified the importance of wood and the importance of quality wood. And my predecessor in maturation, Brendan Monks, for example, was a pioneer in sourcing quality casks from around the world. Yeah. So we identified a long time ago that maturation was a key. As Irish distillers put so much emphasis on it, we also have a master maturation role as well. And that's why it's so important.
그거는 IDL에만 있는 건가요? 다른 증류소에도 있나요?
No, I think other distilleries all around the world, they have particular roles in terms of maturation. It could be head of maturation, it could be head of wood procurement. There's different titles.
Yeah.
But master maturation, I suppose, it's because Irish distillers emphasize the importance of maturation so much that we have that role.
한국에는 아직 레드브레스트 12년 캐스크 스트렝스가 수입이 안 됐는데 레드브레스트 중에 두 분이 가장 좋아하는 제품은 어떤 건가요? 있을까요?
Well, first of all, Redbreast cask strength. I suppose we can't say we're in the production end of the business, so we can't say whether Redbreast cask strength will come to Korea sooner rather than later. It may depend a lot on how the consumers, we know they're already enjoying Redbreast 12-year-old. We've just launched Redbreast 15. I'm positive there'll be a lot of interest in there. And, you know, it may be something that will happen eventually, that we will extend the availability of the Redbreast family in Korea. And, well, as a blender, that is a difficult question to answer because we put the same passion into all of the Redbreast. And right here, right now, today, the most current for me is Redbreast 15. So that's the one that I would pick as my favorite right now.
지금 전 세계적으로 아이리시 위스키의 성장세가 엄청나거든요. 어떤 분들은 아이리시 위스키의 부활, 아이리시 위스키의 르네상스 시대 이렇게 얘기를 하는데 아이리시 위스키를 이끌어가는 두 분으로서 앞으로 아이리시 위스키의 로드맵 같은 게 있을까요?
Yeah, I suppose, you know, we're in a very fortunate situation whereby Irish whiskey is growing so much over the last, 20, 30 years. As I said earlier on, it's a wonderful whiskey with incredible tradition and heritage and craft. But I think that's appreciated around the world. But certainly, over the last 10 years, it's been the fastest growing category in the spirits category. Irish whiskey has about 11% of the total whiskey sales in the world. So we have a long, long way to go. We have so much scope. But I think with the quality of whiskey that we produce, with the passion that we have, with the innovation, because innovation is a key to what we do in Midleton, with new whiskies, new ways of doing things, I think the future is fantastic. When I joined Midleton Distillery in '98, we had only, 3 distilleries in Ireland. Now we've over 40 distilleries in Ireland. And all these distilleries are producing lots of innovative brands and lots of innovative whiskey, so it's wonderful. So we really have a thriving Irish whiskey category now that's driving forward. So I think it's just a great story.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, over the past 30 years, I don't think anybody will argue that Jameson is the brand that has put the Irish whiskey category back on the whiskey map. But now in Ireland, as Kevin says, we have got a growing category. We have many more producers coming onto the market, which is helping together as a category to grow Irish whiskey across the world. So it's not just down to Jameson. Jameson set the style, but now we're just part of the category, so we're all in it together.
I suppose the other thing as well, Billy, is that we're now, you know, there's a thirst out there for premium and super premium and ultra premium whiskies, and now that's where we're playing as well. Over the last number of years, particularly with Midleton Very Rare, and we have launched some incredible whiskies over the last number of years that play in that prestige, ultra premium category. So I think that's really, really important. So we're playing at the top table as well. So it's really, really good.
그럼 말씀 나온 김에 저도 아직 맛보지 못했었던 미들턴 베리 레어를 한번 같이 드셔보실 수 있을까요?
Love to.
그럼 한번 마셔볼까요? 위스키 매니아 분들은 다 게일어로 건배라는 단어를 아는데
Gaelic, yes. Well, Gaelic, it's sláinte.
Sláinte, yeah.
Sláinte it's good health, I suppose, in Gaelic. But we've lots of different toasts in Ireland, yeah, where people will have a saying or something. So do you want me to give an Irish toast?
Of course.
Yeah, would you like that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, na tita an dinistach is na tichimid carja amach. That translates to, may the roof above us never fall in, and we friends below never fall out. Sláinte.
Sláinte.
First time trying it.
Yes. Very sweet, smooth.
Caramel, fudge.
Yeah.
It's quite citrus as well, because nice citrus on the nose. Mandarins, nectarines, orange peel.
So all American oak, ex-bourbon, so no wine cask influence.
그러면 이번에 레드브레스트 15년이 국내에 이제 출시가 되는데요. 레드브레스트 15년도 한번 마셔보면서 어떤 컨셉으로 만드신 건지 설명을 드릴 수 있을까요?
Absolutely, we'd love to. Love
Sounds
to.
like a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for Redbreast 15, those people that are familiar with Redbreast 12, Redbreast 12 is single pot still, using ex-bourbon casks, first fill, Oloroso sherry seasoned cask, first fill. So that gives Redbreast 12 a full cask contribution, rich, ripe fruits. So Redbreast 15 is different. It's not 12, 3 years older, but the cask profile is slightly different. We don't use all first fill casks, bourbon and sherry. We bring back the first fill by using some refill bourbon and some refill Oloroso sherry. And in doing that, it allows a little bit more spice from the distillate to come through. So comparing this to Redbreast 12-year-old, a little bit more spicy. The pot still distillate spices is what we would call it, but it still has the Oloroso influence and the bourbon influence. So you still get vanilla sweetness, but behind that you've got some more spicy, a little bit pepper, black pepper, ginger, a little bit of, we say, nutmeg and nuttiness as well, walnut, almond, that type of nuttiness. The taste is a little bit more intense than the 12-year-old. Maybe 2 reasons. One is the cask profile, allowing it to be a little bit more spicy. Secondly, it's bottled at 46%.
I like it.
It still has undoubtedly the Redbreast DNA. It still has the Redbreast style. It still has got the bourbon influence. It still has the Oloroso influence, but is a little bit more robust.
I think the spiciness though comes through, and allowing the distillate character, as you said, and that pepper, I think nutmeg and cinnamon, it's just coming through there, the spiciness, and also get maybe more kind of the berries, sort of ripe berries coming through as well on the nose. It's delicious.
정말 맛있네요.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Thank you. 오늘 정말 귀한 시간 내주셔서 감사드리고요. 한국에 있는 위스키 매니아들한테도 아이리쉬 위스키가 어떤 위스키였는지 알게 되는 시간이었다고 생각을 합니다. 혹시 뭐 한국에 있는 위스키 팬들한테 한마디씩 해주실 수 있으신가요?
I just say, look, we've been over here this week and we're meeting lots of people. It's been wonderful meeting everybody. But I suppose we're bringing these whiskies and we just want everybody to enjoy them, try them. They're different. And, between, Middleton Very Rare 23, Redbreast 15, which we now add to the Redbreast 12, which you already have. I think drinking whiskey is all about enjoyment, conviviality, meeting people, talking to people. And, what I've seen is Korean people are so good at that. You're so friendly. And I just say, really, just enjoy the whiskey. And hopefully next year we'll be back and we'll bring more back.
Yeah.
We've been so well received here while we've been here. A lot of people love Redbreast, and what I would ask those people to do is to go and tell their friends about it, and you never know where Redbreast will go in Korea from there. If the enjoyment is what we've experienced so far this week.
내년에 또 뵐 수 있으면 좋겠네요. 감사합니다.
Love to come back. Love to come back. Be back next year. Absolutely.
스란지바.
Sláinte.
Maybe. It's okay.
It just takes a while to dry.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.